Hello guys, and today we are going to be talking about how to throw with accuracy in Echo VR. So the first thing you are going to want to do is once you load into a game, once you load into a lobby, you're going to come over to the matchmaking terminal, and you're gonna click arena, and then you're gonna click private, and then you're gonna drag yourself onto a team, and then click start.
Joining match.
And you're gonna load in just a few seconds. And when you load in to the private arena match, the first thing I always like to do is just do a little bit of stretching, just some like arm circles and just regular stretching your arms. I've never got severely injured of playing, but I have got some shoulder soreness playing for some long days. Every day a week. So that's tip number one. And tip number two is practice all throwing styles, or find your style. You want to, like, overhand is where you want it to basically throw at the peak of your height, and then kind of give a little flick of your wrist too. So overhand, and then the other one is underhand, which you basically come like this and like throw it, come from under. And another one I like is kind of sidearm. That one you can get really fast on Quest 2. So that's probably my second favorite, but probably my first favorite is definitely, it's kind of this overhand sidearm, which you like come from like right here and like basically throw it like a baseball. And that's really accurate because I have cameras tracking it the whole way on my head. And so that's, and then one more I really like to do is I like to do kind of a cut from under. It's a mix between like sidearm and underhand. So it's kind of like this. So tip number two is your throwing settings. Your throwing settings, if you scroll through until you get gameplay throwing, you'll come up with latest sensory data. You'll come up with experimental throwing, which you can turn off. Don't do that though. You can do predictive, which is basically where it predicts the track of the disc, basically, with your sensors. And latest sensory data is basically the best and the latest sensory data, basically. And input grabbing dead zone is how far you have to push in the trigger for it to initiate grab. Input release distance is how far you have to let go for it to let go of the disc. Wrist offset is basically how many degrees your real life wrist is off with your in-game wrist. So just play around with these until you find something that works with your throwing style. And the second thing I really recommend you doing is just go in a private arena and just practice drills. One video I really like is Venom's shooting drills. You can find that on YouTube, Venom's channel, and I really like that. And I'd check that out. That has all the information you need. I may do a video on that myself, but just can't make this video all about that. So, tip number two is to just learn some trick shots. Basically, what trick shots are is they're just like, you have to know that they exist to do them. So, and one I like to do, I think it's called the trench bounce shot or something. Basically, throw it at those two arrows in trench, and it'll bounce up and go in the goal. And another thing is just if you're find out if you're shooting high or low, and you can adjust your wrist angle offset. If you're throwing high, adjust it down. Adjust it down. If you're throwing low, it's not good. If you're throwing low, make it a little higher. Maybe I need to do that. And wrist angle offset also helps if you use a lot of wrist in your throws. Man, I'm throwing low. Maybe I need to. If you use a lot of wrist in your throws, it'll help you throw faster. Another thing I like to do is practice anchor shots, which is basically where you get a small burst in momentum, and it adds to the speed of your disc. So basically, how the game calculates how fast your disc goes is how fast your wrist moves, how fast your arm moves, and how fast you move. So basically, I think the cap for wrist is 2.3. The cap for that is 2.3, and the max you can move is if you boost toward it and grab the disc. As you can see, if you look at my heads-up display, I go 4.7 meters per second. And arm speed max is 17 and a half. I think it's 17 and a half. And so basically the max you can throw is 19 meters a second, which is pretty hard to do, but anything 18 and a half meters and above is considered a 19 and a half meter, 19 meters per second shot. So I think that's gonna be all for today, and as always, have a good day. Bye. Oh, and please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, TNT Tryden.